stay with a trade and trail a stop in a trend. If it's too uncomfortable with you, you're going to start stressing yourself. And you don't trade well when you're under stress. What you will find is that every time you make a trade, every day you're watching your markets, you will grow. And your tolerance level will grow. Your psychology, your psychological understanding of yourself and of the markets will grow. And you'll grow with your leverage and your trading size and your ability to stay in a trade. That will grow as you get older and more experienced. And I want to read one quote for you to tie it up. This is actually how I wanted to end my talk after all that. Okay, forgot about it. This was the first book I ever read, and I don't even know if it's in print anymore. And of course it was my father's. It's always like, your family member that gets you into this wretched business sometime. And I was like 10 years old. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. He gave me some charts and told me to look for a certain pattern, and I was fine. I think he used to trade shell eggs by lunar cycles. He went bankrupt as a builder, so. The answer was not in trading shell eggs with lunar cycles, but this is a little book called The Treasury of Wall Street Wisdom. And what it did is it boiled down each of these fabulous forefathers of technical analysis, from Drew, who did Sentiment, and Dow, and Rhea, and Nelson, and all these guys. It's probably about 5 little snippets from each of them, and they're golden rules. And so I read this, and of course, you forget about it, and then you actually start trading, and you don't apply any of the principles you should. You still learn everything the hard way. But this is a little quote by Samuel Nelson, who was one of the people that was a Dow disciple. And he wrote, "Early success is misleading and deceptive. It's almost a tradition that novices who plunge successfully in the first year are very often failures in the second or third year. A queer thing about this business or this trade is that you may acquire it very slowly and gradually, or you may stick at it and work away for months and months, when suddenly, in the most mysterious way, the whole thing opens up to you, and what seemed very difficult becomes comparatively simple. You learn by the process of elimination." And with that, I have to say, I have seen it over and over that people struggle in this business for 1 year, for 3 years, for 6 years. And I know you can read it in all the Market Wizards books, It's like it took 6 years before you even could turn a profit, That we all struggle, and it's like one day, maybe out of the toils of our efforts or our labors, something becomes clear or dawns, or all of a sudden it feels easy. And if you have the faith and the confidence that that will happen, it will happen. But I've seen very, very few traders be able to make a consistent living year after year in the first 3 years of trading. It is a bit of work. It's a journey. It's learning through that process of elimination. And that's going to happen a lot of times through your own mistakes, through this trial and error process, finding what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So, for me, after all these years of trading, a bull flag. Here's the answer. Here's the key, So with that, you've got to look at your own self, your own journey, have patience, and trust that it will unfold for you. And in the meantime, it's the greatest hobby in the world, and you have to enjoy the process, and you have to enjoy studying it, and the opportunity to be at a conference like tonight where you've got all these wonderful resources at your disposal, not only in the software and the indicator and the books that are available to you, but each other, and talking to each other. And trading can be a lonely business by yourself, and it's amazing when you start talking to another trader and you say things, "Well, that happened to you? I didn't know that was the only person that did that a million times." It's like, people are always surprised at the mistakes that I make. "You mean you do that too?" "Oh, yes, I do that too. I've done that too many times to mention." But, it's like misery loves company, and it also puts you in a fraternity. And every time I talk to another trader, he spills his big loss, about the dumb thing that he did. And it's like, oh, I don't feel so stupid anymore, So take this opportunity, too, not only to hear the speakers and mingle among the exhibits, but to try to talk to each other, another trader, to share some common experiences, And you'll see that we all are following the same journey in different roundabout little paths. And hopefully we'll all end up at the same goal of finding our own program, something that works for us, and feeling good about that. So enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you very much for tonight. Let me just say, I have the little thing on the table. If anybody wants to come onto the internet and join us next week for free and watch what I do and the types of things, these little bull flags I was talking about in the markets, I put them on there as they're setting up. You can see them setting up. I tell you where I'm getting filled. I tell you my lousy slippage and stuff. So come join us next week if you would like. Thank you very much.